Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Sorcery. Previously, our rendezvous with Flanker didn't turn out so well. We successfully infiltrated the seat of the Council of Nobles, but no one was there, and there was essentially no clues whatsoever beyond some names, but I don't think we need names at this point. We need to get to those nobles. So, today, we're going to go down south to the Fallen Quarter and the Necropolis, because we never managed to explore those earlier. But first, I actually did want to go up this central alleyway up here, because we never did that, and there could be anything here, including danger, but that is a risk I am willing to take. You make your way up the alley, only to find it blocked about halfway along by a colossal slick of what looks like vegetable waste. The slimy mass pours out of a large warehouse building, as though someone has allowed a spell of soup making to get out of control. Free food? Investigate. You approach boldly. As you get closer, you start to see that the green, slimy mess is very gently inflating and deflating. It is breathing and very, very big. You back away once more. There is no way past the thing, whatever it is. Ah! Okay, well, take a side alley. Hey, I think I can get another sun jewel here, maybe. You make your way between the buildings on the right side of the road, slipping around the side of a high wall, until you emerge into a wider street once more. To your left, a line of buildings has been constructed out of the side of a natural cliff face. Above them is a thick area of trees. On the right is the walled area you have found your way around to get here, whatever it is. Look at the high wall. You crane your neck to look at wall. At wall? It is several times your height. Whoever lives here is keen to keep the inhabitants of Karai out, or keen perhaps to keep whatever is inside in. The surface is rough and pockmarked with age. At the very top, something gleams. Alright. Cast a spell. B. I. G. Grow in size. You cast the spell, inflating from your boots to your neck until you are 3 times your normal size. You are now about as high as the wall itself. Look at the gleam. A small yellow jewel. Pick up the jewel. A sun jewel. Extremely lucky find. Sun jewels are rare and highly valuable. Right. So now I have 2. Yeah, if anything bad happens to one of them, I have a backup, or I could sell it later for a profit. That was a stamina point well spent. Look up at the trees. I recall that we saw, movement up there. Movement of a low shadow. We'll get up to that forest eventually. Move on down the road. Time to move on. Let's see, past the wall. And now we're walking in circles. Yeah, let's walk on. So we went through Loreg. I don't think we went through this route yet. Let's try that. You head back into the side alley that runs between the Cliff Base Road and the square. Oh. No events. Okay. Time to leave the square behind. Right. I want to get to these merchant stalls. I could buy some nice rations. Oh god, but that might put me directly in the necropolis. No, I'm pretty sure I can back out, maybe. Wait. Have I even been there? Yeah, usually when you can see little faded posts indicate you've been there. I could have sworn I've been through there before. Okay, well, I absolutely, no question, want to get to the Fallen Quarter. You know, I could get there through the gambling hall, so let's do that. Let's go through the gambling hall. You head up the road towards the giant statue once more. The statue lies face down in the street. A few locals are now sitting in the back of the statue eating their lunch. Although, hold on. When we went down through here... Right, it's here, this house. We went in this house and there was a body that wasn't moving, and I backed out because I was scared, but I'm pretty sure if I investigated forward, it would lead me down to all the way through here, the Gardens of Briar. So if I can go straight down through there, through the gambling hall, then that'd be good. Let's do that. You follow the short street towards a building with a sign above it that reads, The Gambling Halls of Vlada. Lots of creatures are going in, and the place seems quite busy. There's a short queue to get in. Look at it. You take a moment to watch the creatures in the queue. A few seem flushed with excitement, but most seem dull and depressed. It seems this place is less of a social hub and more of a kind of workhouse, where the poor slave away to increase their meager fortunes. From the trickles of creatures coming out, bleary-eyed, most do not succeed. Oh, there is all sorts of bullshit that could happen. Let's enter. You join the queue, and after a few minutes wait, you are allowed inside. Just a few minutes? You enter the shade of a lawn hall, filled with bodies and smoke, but strangely silent. No one is speaking, and the only noise is the constant rattling of dice, which rolls around the raftered ceilings like thunder. Only the occasional cheer and curse breaks the mood. By the door is a booth, and the gaming tables are out in the main hall. A great cheer goes up from one of the tables. Alright, let's see the booth. You go over to the booth, where a Sven lady is handing out gambling chips. She smiles at you. "Welcome, good lady," she croons, in a voice with sounds like a crocodile pretending to be a songbird. "How much can I get you?" A crocodile pretending to be a songbird. Oh, that is a good line. What's the game? The lady laughs at you. "What else?" she replies. "Swindle stones. Do you know how to play?" "Of course." "I could hardly be in Carre for a day and not know." "No," she replies. Then she drops her voice down low. "But you'll find the players here are quite good." God, okay, Swindle Stones takes forever to play, and if it's just for gold, then... don't play. "I don't fancy the odds," you tell her. She shrugs. "Neither would I." You head for the door. Wait! That door, but... Oh! No! Okay, you head up the roads towards the giant statue once more. The fallen statue is starting to sink into the soft earth below it. Okay, cutting my losses here. We're going here, then. You follow the road around the side of the gambling hall to a wide open space, laid out for a market. There are several stalls, all selling the same goods, their traders arguing loudly over who has the cheapest or the best quality. Let's see here. Provisions, weapons, useful gear, magic items. By a well. Oh, hell no, we're staying away from wells on this side of the city. Magic items. You scour the market for items that might be useful to you in magic, but find nothing except for one jeweler's stand which, in amongst a lot of very expensive and overpriced jewelry, is offering a sun jewel for sale at the exorbitant price of 15 gold pieces. I have 2 of these. Look at the gem. It's beautiful as your own, or perhaps even slightly more polished. Leave it. Useful gear, then. You browse around stalls selling useful gear and items for travelers and come across 2 things that two things which might be useful. The first is a tinder box for lighting fires that will not work without tinder. And the second is a bottle of snakebite antidote. The tinder box costs 2 gold pieces and the antidote 3. I don't think either is a spell tool, but... Yo. If I'm gonna be traveling through the wilderness for Act 3, this seems really useful. No? Yeah, buy both. You pay 5 gold pieces and take both items with you. You thank the trader and move off into the market. Okay, so I have the legendary sword, but I'm curious about the weapons. You take a turn about the armorer's stalls. Mostly what is on sale is of poor quality, or weaker than the blade you already carry. But something catches your eye, a fine bow, with a quiver of silver-tipped arrows. Sell the sword. Gods. No. Okay, wait, actually. Wait a second. How much did it cost me? I think it cost 40 gold to buy it. If I sell my legendary sword for more than 40, I could go back up the street to the blacksmith and buy an exact duplicate because of the time loop. Hold on, how much would I get? Sell a legendary sword. You attract the trader's attention and then you draw the legendary sword. It glitters in the lantern light around the square and you see the gleam in the man's eye. That's a fine blade, he whistles. You nod in agreement. The trader looks at you expectantly, waiting to hear a price. 30 gold, 40 gold, 50, 60, 70. Okay, let's start high, but not too high. 60 gold. The trader shakes his head. How about 32 gold pieces, he suggests? 55. Perhaps 49 gold pieces? A 9 gold profit? Done. You hand over the sword and collect your gold. Now let's test the bow. You lift the bow and test the string. It seems firm and responsive, and although you have little use for ranged weapons, this one seems hardy enough. The quiver is interesting. It contains 10 arrows, but each has a tip made not of steel, but pure silver. The armorer nods at you significantly as you discover this. For you know what? No? The dead. Only silver can pierce the hearts of the dead, he replies. Then he adds in a whisper, 6 gold pieces. Dude, we're going to go into the necropolis where there's an undead noble that haunts the place. I'm buying it. I like the bow, you tell the armorer. He makes a great fuss of packaging it up, but eventually hands over the bow and the quiver. You pay him 6 gold pieces. You thank the trader and move away into the market. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, this is awesome. Now provisions. Be careful not to go beneath too much. Browsing the stalls, you find that food is reasonably expensive, with the cheapest provisions being sold at 3 gold pieces each. One trader is also selling a wrapped package of 6 meals worth for 15 gold pieces. Let's see. 6 gold. Yeah, let's buy 3. Right. You hand over 9 gold pieces and place the provisions into your pack, then move away into another area of the market. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, back up here. Make a move. The blacksmith. You hard to take my baby, is you? The price is same. Farty. I'll buy it. You declare grandly, handing over 40 gold pieces. The man hands the sword to you in return. Once again, you hold the legendary sword in your hands. Its lines are perfect, its weight delicate. It is the finest blade you have ever seen. You thank him and return to the square. Dude, I just made out like a bandit. Holy crap. Okay. Okay. I can go back into the halls of Lada. Could gamble more. I mean, I gamble at all and maybe go south. Okay, let's do it. We'll pay the fee. We'll buy whatever. We'll just get in here. Or I could go straight to the gaming tables. Yeah, I don't need to gamble. I could just go through. A troll, almost the same size as the bronze statue outside, bars your path with an arm. No gold, he says. Chips only. Okay. Son of a... Don't want to make a scene. How much should I take? I'm new here. Oh, she purrs. We love new players at the halls of Lada. You give us all of your gold. No real money is allowed on the premises. Then when you leave, we give you what you've still got. I mean, what you've won. It's very simple. 10 gold, huh? Am I really willing to just say goodbye to 10 gold? I mean... Look, I'm planning kind of on going through the city again, and I suffered because I was penniless. Crap, no. You know what? Don't play. We'll just go the western route. I'm so indecisive. Yeah, I keep thinking about that Dwarf Town merchant that we couldn't buy anything from, man. Not to mention the inns and food. Don't want to go through my rations, they're valuable. You choose a random alleyway on the right-hand side of the square and slip into the shadow between the tall buildings. The houses either side are well built and well defended. There are iron railings on the windows, and some even have arrow slits and portcullises. One householder has dug a moat across his front door. Outside one building, a tall man stands with a grappling hook. Oh my god, this dude. Right, last go around in the time loop, we helped him inside, then we overheard him saying, just put down the knife. Bad things happened because we helped this man. Let's approach him and see if we can't stop him. Greetings. Stranger, he says. I'm in a terrible fix. Okay, what is the problem? Been locked out, this is my home, and I've lost my key, but I've got a terrible throw, as you can probably see. Where did you get the grappling hook? Yeah, I found it near an old well in the wasteland. Okay, he's a local. Maybe he's seen the blind beggar. The ruins. He cocks his dead down the alley. That should be head. Keep going straight. You're almost there. Though why you'd want to visit them, I can't guess. The man gives up. He winds up the rope around his shoulder, then cups his hands to his mouth. Esme, will you just open the door and let me in? For a moment, nothing happens, and a bucket of slop is thrown out over the man. He stands, dripping in muck. Who is Esme? From a safe distance away. I married an elven, he explains sadly. Lovely eyes, but you can't really trust them. He stalks away up the alley. Time for you to move on. Okay. You know what? Maybe he really wasn't, like, maybe he is the victim in that relationship. I don't know. The street is falling into disrepair around you. Something has blighted this region of the city. Even the trees in the gardens behind the mansions have turned black where they stand. The only greenery is the moss on the stone walls. There are no rats scurrying underfoot, and only spiders roost in the rooftops. You pass a particularly grand house, its doors locked with a heavy iron chain. Right. This is the house of a noble, but the manservant, the red-eye manservant, threw us out. Look at the house. Okay, a hooded creature with a bell around his neck is approaching, shuffling steps. Yeah, I got a disease from that, apparently, so... Open the door to the house. Okay. Cast a spell to unlock it. I believe that's DOP. Hopefully I didn't waste too much time. D-O... Other D. O-P. Open locks and doors. You cast the spell over the heavy chain and it tumbles to the ground. Now that the creature is close, you can hear it sighing painful breath. Enter the house quickly. Escaping from the shuffling creature. Hopefully I wasn't too close. The empty mansion. You know, because there's no interior room visuals for this, I'm not thinking this too important. Right. From the back of the house comes a voice, the Lord is not at home, so... How did I play this last time? I think I took the offensive and I tried to barrel my way in. I think that's what I did, so... Which Lord? The figure shambles forward, resolving itself out of the darkness into a tall ogre wearing the livery of a manservant. His eyes are tightly closed. Lord Shinva is not at home, he intones once more. Please leave. Right. Lord Shinva is dead, isn't he? Indeed, the creature replies. He will not be returning for some time. Where has he gone? Necropolis, the creature replies coolly. I must now ask you to leave. Yeah, we tried to push past him, but we got kicked out and lost some stamina, so we'll leave. The creature looks heavy enough. Things could get quite ugly. You leave the house and return to the street. A narrow alley opens up to your left, slipping between the buildings. I could go here. Yeah, I don't think anything of real import happened over here, so absolutely, follow the alley. You slip between the buildings and emerge into a dirt track that dodges around piles of rubble on either side of the street. It looks as though a gigantic boulder has rolled down the path, crushing everything in its wake. Even the pebbles underfoot have been ground to a fine dust. A few blueberries grow by the side of the track. Blueberries? Hey! Kneeling down by the small plant, you look more closely at the blueberries. They seem perfectly ripe and glisten with a juiciness, but you do not recognize them. Smell the plant. You lean in close and take a deep breath from the plant. The smell is sweet and rich and quite enticing. Pick a handful? Oh, this is a bad idea. You gather a handful of the berries. A few are squashed in your palm as you pick them, coating your hand with a dark blue juice. Taste the berries. You shove the handful of berries into your mouth. The taste is sweet, almost sickly. A moment later, that is exactly how you feel, and you look down to see your hands are turning blue. Your breath is short in your lungs. You are suffocating from the inside out. Vacate. Vomit. Thinking quickly, you stick your fingers down your throat, causing yourself to be violently ill. You make a terrible blue mess all over the ground, but at least you can breathe again. You gather your strength and get back to your feet. You leave the deadly berries and move along. Don't eat weird berries, kids. Don't do that. Once again, you are emerging from the alley into a wide area of wasteland. Once, this was a busy city district, but now it looks as though a hurricane has leveled it. Nothing stands higher than head height. A few staircases lead to nowhere, and in some places a door still stands. Plants grow from every crevice and crack as though someone had poured green paint over the whole scene. Things are constantly moving and shuffling between the leaves. The road, such as it is quickly smothered by piles of wreckage. There are lots of other ways to pick your way through. One possible route leads up and over the side of a broken-down house. Another passes by what might have once been a mill. You would have to climb over the mill wheel to continue this way. Right, climb the broken house. You clamber up the fallen rubble to the roof of the broken building. From there, you get a clear view across the rest of the wasteland. It stretches for a mile or two and will take about an hour to cross on foot. And at its far side, a tall iron fence thick with ivy slices across the land. Perhaps to keep the people of the wasteland out, or to keep whatever is beyond the fence in. In the distance, you see dark shapes moving across the sky. Alright, climb down the other side of the building. You make your way down the far side of the building and back onto the path beyond, which soon forks. Right. So what we did was we went here, backed out immediately, went here, we found the well, climbed in, and that was our whole misadventure, which took us way north. I never did go through this path. We never went through the necropolis, and we never went south to the Gardens of Briar. I absolutely want to go there, so down here. Right. Then the path comes to a building that, amidst all of this destruction, is still standing. Its doors closed and its stone walls seem completely intact. Try the door. It falls open at the slightest touch. Right. The house consists of a single room with a large table and a large chair, and in the far corner a sealed box. Everything seems in good repair. The wood looks waxed and polished, and the hinges on the box are free of rust. Right, we looked around when we found the body, and we examined as much as we could. We did everything but open the box, so... Open the box. You hurry across the room to try and open the box, but in your haste you trip over something on the floor. Picking yourself up from the floor, you find yourself face to face with a foot. Right. Go for the box. You head over to the box and lift the lid. Inside are a series of small round stones, carefully carved. Lift out a stone. Looking back over your shoulder to check the foot is still unmoving, you pick out one of the stones at random, lift it from the box. It isn't heavy, but it is exquisitely smooth. Not quite round, with a dimple on the top and a deeper pit near the top. In fact, you realize as you turn it over in your hand, it is carved in the shape of an apple. Looking in the box, you see other carved foodstuffs. Apples, bread, rolls of goat's cheese, a ham. Each has been almost perfectly chiseled into shape. Interesting. Look through the stone food. You search through the box, hoping to find something to explain the purpose of the collection, but you discover nothing more. Turning away, your eyes fall on the other side of the table, where the head of the creature lies. The face is clearly stone, the eyes are stone, the open mouth is stone. It is a statue of a Sven, or else it once was a Sven. In its hands you see it holds a stone shovel. You peer at the shovel. It has a wide blade, good for heavy digging. This creature was a gardener, or perhaps a farmer. Or more likely, given his lonely outpost near the necropolis, the city grave digger. But now he is solid stone. Such things are not impossible. Perhaps he buried a wizard's lover. A day too soon, perhaps. You step back outside into the dying sunlight. Wait, hold on, wait. How am I supposed to get to the to the Gardens of Briar? Look at all this content here. How do I get there? Huh. You make your way between blasted walls and weed-encrusted rubble. There is constant movement in the corner of your eyes, rats scurrying to hide under stones and in the cracks. The path turns around a large stone fountain, which has toppled over on one side, revealing an empty well shaft leading down into the earth. Look at the fountain. The fountain is carved to resemble a gigantic serpent leaning up from the base of the pedestal, with its jaws open to devour a marble sun. Openings in the stone suggest that when the fountain was working, water ran between its scales and down onto the base as though the serpent was being pushed down by a rainstorm. Move on. Really? I'm really just leaving the Gardens of Briar behind, huh? Okay. After a while, another path joins this one. Looking back along it, you see a toppled steeple. A track climbs the rise at your back towards a low hovel. This is the far edge of the wasteland. Ahead, you make out a line of tall, dark trees. The steeple, the hovel, the fence. Right, didn't we see a really, really friggin' big, huge birds near a church? I want to say if I go to the steeple, I'll be in for a fight. There's a hovel where someone maybe lives. You know, let's pick a fight. The steeple. You make your way through the wasteland towards a church. Most of the buildings is in ruins, but a tall steeple still reaches for the sky. Circling the steeple are two dark shapes that look like enormous birds. At the foot of the church, a man dressed in rags is curled up asleep. The blind noble? Look at him. You stop and peer down to look at him. Could this be Theta, the blind beggar that you were told to find? His face is curiously familiar. You have definitely seen it somewhere before since you arrived in Kare, although you have not seen any other beggars as filthy and smelly as this one. Wake him. You reach down and wake him gently. At first he doesn't respond, and you wonder if you are too late. But then he sits up sharply. "Who's there?" he demands. "I'm under attack! Under attack!" He rubs his eyes, then reaches out with dirty fingertips for your face. You are Theta, noble of Kare. If we gave him something, like a ration, maybe he would become amicable to us. Give him something. You dig through your pack for something that might interest the beggar. Give him the walking cane. Wait. Oh! The cane we used as a key over in the mansion on the west side. Was that Theta's mansion? Hold on, I need to look at my clues. Hold on. The Scholar's house? No, that's Lorag's mansion. Theta is in the ruins. Okay, Shinva... Okay, wait, so Sansas' abode is unknown, but probably hung out at the council place. Shinva is in the necropolis, and we just met his manservant in the mansion just to our west. Lorag is to the north. By process of elimination, that probably means that Theta is the one who had the mansion on the west side. So the cane is his, I think. Give him the walking cane. I have something you might want, you tell him, pulling out the walking cane you took from the abandoned mansion in Lower Kare. The beggar takes it with pleasure, his fingers quickly finding their way around the grip. He pokes the stick out at an angle and leans down on it with a sigh. "An old friend, this," he murmurs, then catches himself as if he has said something he should not have said. "You are Theta, noble of Kare." You round on the beggar. "You are Theta, are you not?" The man looks absolutely terrified by the accusation. He begins to curl up around himself and scream. It seems quite a strong reaction. Then you see he is not looking at you, but past you. Look up. I'm not falling for that. Oh, the birds. I gotta look up. It could be the giant-ass birds. You turn your attention skywards to see the two dark shapes are hurtling downwards, beating wide, leathery wings. They are the creatures you saw flying around the steeple. "God-cursed harpies," he declares bitterly. "They come for me every time. Every coin I get, every apple, every stinking crust of bread. They come and they take it from me. What did I do to deserve such torment?" Oh, wow, we got, like, Prometheus over here, man. Okay. Step in front of the beggar. We're gonna slay these harpies and earn our password. You push the beggar back and stare up into the sky. Yo. Look at that art. The harpies are screaming down towards him, ugly, dark-skinned creature with the sharp talons on their arms and legs, coming to tear out what is left of his eyes. Okay, draw my sword or cast a spell. I don't want to drive them away, I want to kill them and rid him of this curse. So, what spells can I cast? Maybe something that will help me in the fight. Let's see. H-O-T. I could cast a fireball, maybe incinerate one of the two. That's 3 stamina, man. D-I-M? Cause stupidity. I could make the fight easier on me. Y-O-B. Summon a giant with a tooth. Nope. I want to hold on my giant. Not for some... I don't want to use a giant on something so simple as these. G-O-B? Summon a goblin. No. P-O-P. Create explosions. No. W-O-K. Create a shield. Requires 1 stamina and 1 gold piece. You know what? I don't think we've tried this yet. Let's see what happens here. What does it do for combat? You place the gold coin on your wrist and cast the spell, creating an invisible shield. These creatures are able to fly, so will be able to defend themselves by rising up out of reach. At least this should now even the odds a little. You draw your sword and shove the beggar back into the shelter of the church. "Let me deal with these foul creatures," you declare. The beggar begins to issue weeping thanks, but with the first harpy now within reach of your face, your attention is elsewhere. Okay. Wow, these things are decently powerful in terms of strength. But it has 5 stamina. Right. These things are swooping down out of the sky on the offensive. We should answer in kind. Damn! The harpy's clawed wings raise above a cloud of dust from the ground, blinding you as it sweeps in close. You swing wildly, hoping to chop the creature from the sky, and your blade strikes deep, cleaving through the whirl of teeth and grasping talons. The harpy drops suddenly as it flies. Dark blood sprays across the dirt. I mean, yeah, let's just finish it. Damn. You take advantage of the harpy's panic to press forward. Your blade sings as it parts the air. The harpy hits the ground. It is a huge creature, as big as a bear, but the savage light in its eyes has gone dark. Damn, bear-sized harpy, that is goddamn terrifying. The beggar darts forward to jab it with his stick, But there is no time for celebration, as the second creature is already searing down from the sky. Right, so our not stamina, but our attack power, rather, is completely refreshed. We can just repeat this. What do you mean to beat me by 0.1? Oh, fuck. God. Wow. I should have been... Oh, my God. The second harpy swoops low, screaming out for blood. You chop into the air with your sword, but the harpy is coming at you with terrific force, and its claws tears chunks from your side. The creature hovers just a little out of reach, talons stretched. Fuck you. This thing. You pause, watching for the harpy's wings to open. Then you launch forwards. You slice with your sword. It comes down for you, then tries to turn and retreat, but it is too late. Your sword sinks into its bony hide. So what use has my shield been exactly? It hangs in the air a short way back, claws grasping. You fall back behind your shield. The harpy tries to slice you with its talons, but you duck out of the way just in time. "Don't let him get you," cries the beggar, unhelpfully. It screams as it crosses the sky. Leaping up from a low crouch, you strike for the harpy's skull, putting a hole in the creature's wing. The harpy dribbles dark blood as it flies. It wheels up and turns about, ready to strike. "Look out," cries the beggar. "He's going for your head." You drop into a crouch behind your shield. The harpy dives towards you, but you dodge quickly into the cover of the building behind. I didn't take any stamina damage from that. Usually when you defend and suffer any sort of blow, you take at least 1 point of damage. Can I just defend forever? Yeah, oh my god, I just recovered all my... Wow! That is cheesy as hell. I just broke the combat system. Oh my god. Okay. Let's finish it. Thrust. Suddenly, you reach out. You hold your ground as the harpy swoops, driving your sword blade up into its belly from underneath. With a final turn through the air, the harpy barrels over, then tumbles, striking the side of the church. As it hits the ground, a wall collapses and the creature is buried beneath a slide of masonry. The beggar cheers and begins to dance. Continue. The shield disappears from your arm. The beggar creeps out from his hiding place and thanks you 2 or 3 times over. Give him back his badge. I think he would be most happy about that. But let's talk to him. "Lord Theta, I'd like to talk to you." He sighs. "That's my name, I don't deny it," he replies. "I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you happily. Ever since the blindness struck me down, I have been tormented by those demons, and now they are dead. You have saved me, or as much as I can be saved. Tell me your spell line for the gate." "Happily," he says, "I am glad to be rid of it. It was... Oh no, my memory is not as good as it was. Let me see." He racks his brain, thinking for all he is worth. Bribe him. Hit him. No, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll wait. You wait patiently for him to remember. "Got it," he exclaims. "It's by Korga's grace and something's pride. Oh, but I can't remember what that something was." You have heard the other half of the line, however. "Forga?" "That's it," Theta exclaims. "Or is it Tenga?" "No, I think it was Forga." Nice. Spell line get. The beggar shivers under a sudden breath of cold. The afternoon is waning, evening is approaching already. "Days are growing shorter," Theta remarks. "It's like that here, near the Backlands." Tell me the order of the spell lines." "The order of the spell lines for the North Gate. Do you know it? Theta laughs. No, no idea, although I know my line came first. The beggar makes a coughing sound. I'm starving, he whispers, so hungry. I feel like I wouldn't get anything by giving him food, but I'm in a good mood, so give him some food. You dig into your pack and pull out some of the bread and cheese, which you offer to him. He accepts it greedily, gobbling so fast you think he will make himself sick. Once he is finished, he inhales deeply. I feel almost human again, he remarks. Today has been a lucky day, friend. Let me reward you. Oh, wait to see what he offers. Here is my story, he begins. I used to collect tax in the city, but I didn't account truthfully. That's why those harpies haunted me as revenge for everything I ever took for myself. I give the most valuable piece of it now to you. With that, he holds out a ring of silver, fashioned in the shape of a serpent that coils twice around his finger. This is a talisman to protect you from serpents. Please take it. It will be useful to you. I know it. All right, take it. You take the ring, placing it onto one finger, and thank him. You can't help wondering if you will ever learn if it is a truly powerful item or just a trinket. He smiles contentedly. Perhaps, he says, I feel a little better now. So what happens to your eyes, anyway? You take a moment to show some sympathy. What happened to your eyes? A black eye curse, and I know who cursed me. It was Sansis. Once he was a good ruler, fair and honest. He ruled Kare like a kind father, looking after a cherished daughter. Nothing was too much effort. But he began to fear his other counselors. He thought we were plotting against him, ready to overthrow him. Were you? The beggar laughed sadly. Molus was. As soon as Sansis gave Molus one of the spell lines, he wanted them all. He wanted them for himself, so he could hold the city to ransom. Molus used to be a blackmailer. Theta sighs. But I was loyal, and Sansis repaid me like this. He begins to weep once more. Didn't the Goblin King claim that he had blinded Theta? And Sansis has been missing. Yeah, that's right. The Goblin King with the crappy crown was Sansis. That's right. Your mind races. Could Sansis really be about to overrun his own city with goblins? Surely even the first noble of Kare could not be mad enough for that. You thank the beggar once more for his help. Then you look to the track ahead and take your leave of him. You return back along the path to the junction. Excellent. Back to the edge of the wasteland. Right. There's a low hovel and the fence. Let's check out the hovel. You climb the rise towards the hovel. It is merely a tent pitched in a clearing, guy ropes held down by rubble. Guy ropes? Listen at the door. You stand and hold your breath, but you hear nothing from inside. Perhaps it is unoccupied. Certainly it can't contain much. Go in. Oh. You step into the shade of a tiny hovel, and your eyes widen. The room inside is lined, floor to ceiling, with trinkets, knickknacks, bric-a-brac, and other miscellaneous stuff. Some is piled up on the shelves, some hang from the ceiling. Even more leans against the walls. There are weapons, pottery, jewelry, domestic objects, magical items, and so on. Look at this dude. Looks like a cool dude. Sitting cross-legged on the floor in the midst of all this mess is a small bearded gnome who rubs his hand and greets you as you come in. Greetings, gnome, and how have you not been robbed? I'm just gonna say hello. Greetings, the gnome answers enthusiastically. He pats the ground beside him. Let's see if we can do a little bartering. As you can probably tell, I've no interest in money. The gnome gestures around his little room. There's clearly a lot to choose from, but the items which stand out are a bamboo flute, a pot of beeswax, a bag of goblin's teeth, and a compass, whose needle quivers in a direction which is close to, but not actually north. Well, hey, I might be able to trade my extra sun jewel, eh? Okay, let's see. The bamboo flute, I believe, lets me cast Jig, which induces dancing. The beeswax, I think, is a sword sharpening spell. And goblin teeth lets me summon goblin minions. But you know what? The compass... The compass is the promise of adventure. I'm going to choose the compass. It's not a normal compass, the gnome says. Instead, it'll point you to where it thinks you need to go. I'm afraid it has a mind of its own, and it isn't always correct. And it probably won't work in the countryside outside Kare either. So I'd understand if you don't want it. Okay, this sounds like shenanigans, and I'm down for shenanigans. Take the compass. Not putting... sounds intriguing, you reply, not putting the compass down. Anything else, the gnome asks. That's enough. All done, the gnome answers. Very good. You took one of mine, so I've taken one thing of yours. I'm very quick. You probably didn't notice me doing it. Good day? The gnome gestures towards the door for you to leave. Wait, I can probably... Wait, what exactly did you take? The gnome looks surprised. Well, really, I have no idea. I'm a kleptomaniac, as should be fairly obvious, and what's more, I couldn't see into your pack when I was taking it, could I? But I'm very fair, and I took exactly the right amount of things, so we're all square. Okay. Accept the deal and leave. Okay. You head out of the hovel, you return to the junction. Right. The needle on the compass is quivering. Check it. It points firmly towards the iron fence and the heavy trees. Okay. I feel like we're good. I think. Interesting. Okay. The fence. Yeah, okay. The path ends at a tall and ancient iron fence, overgrown with weeds. Through the dense leaves, you can make out a wide area beyond, dotted with stones and small buildings and straight, somber trees. It is a necropolis of mausoleums and tombs. Climb the ivy. Now, there's got to be an easier way about this. Cast a spell. Let's see. B-I-G. Grow in size. You can just step right on over. You cast the spell. growing to 3 times your normal size until your head is higher than the fence. You can now see clearly across it into the graveyard beyond, but it is still too high up to simply step over. Bend the bars. You wedge your enormous fingers into the gaps between the railings of the fence, and then, colossal biceps rippling and heaving, you begin to bend the metal itself to create a gap. It is hard work, but after a while you have created a decent-sized hole. This is a trick, isn't it? Climb through the hole while I'm still giant? No, we'll wait, then shrink, then go through. Right. You wait for the spell to wear off, and you shrink back down to your normal size. Then you clamber easily through the hole in the fence. Excellent. The graveyard. A noble awaits. Oh man. Okay, let's Well, I quite imagine next time we'll fully explore the necropolis to the best of our abilities. Then we'll head north through this weird forest trail. Check out this ziggurat. I am very curious about this. And then we'll reach the north gate. For better or for worse, we might be going back in time once more, if the option is available to us. I would love to take another go through the city to gather more items for the trek ahead, but I don't know, actually. I think we'll just feel things out. Man. I'm still sad we couldn't get into the Gardens of Briar. I didn't figure out how to do that. Usually entering an area isn't so obscure. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Well, anyway, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more Sorcery. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please, take care.